Good morning, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Sunday morning? I hope you're doing as well as I am today. My name is Mark Dorset. I am the student pastor here at the Christabelle Spiritualist Church, and welcome to our virtual Sunday sermon. This one is actually a special Thanksgiving sermon that is titled, Let's Talk Turkey. But before we get into that, I will be beginning our service with our invocation, followed by our declaration of principles. So if you could please virtually bow your heads, I will begin. Infinite intelligence, great infinite spirit of the universe, we welcome Spirit into our Thanksgiving service today. We are thankful for all the bountiful blessings, the goodness with which we are blessed. We give thanks for our family and friends, and for our good health and the blessings of each day. We uplift our minds in gratitude for all of those blessings and lessons of life. We are thankful for the beautiful truth of spiritualism, which enables us to study and know the truth. We are eternally grateful for communication between the two worlds that prove we live forever. Amen. And now, to our reading of the Declaration of Principles. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the Golden Rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We affirm the moral responsibility of individuals and that we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any soul here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing are divine attributes proven through mediumship. Now, let's begin, shall we? Good morning, and welcome to the Christabelle Spiritualist Church Let's Talk Turkey hotline. Remember to cook your bird for about 20 minutes per pound at 350 degrees. For our vegan congregation members, don't forget to cook your tofurkey at 350 degrees for approximately an hour and 20 minutes. You'll also want to remove it from the bag prior to cooking. What, not the type of talking turkey that you were expecting? Well, good, because you know what? I'm just funning you. I'm just having some fun. Now, even though Thanksgiving in the United States is coming up in just a few days, it's not the type of turkey or tofurkey that I was talking about. Although I must confess, you know what, that I am looking forward to a nice turkey dinner this Thursday. How about you? You know, anyone else looking forward to eating far too much and then falling asleep in front of the television? I know I am. Okay, but enough fooling around. Let's talk Turkey Day, or more appropriately, Thanksgiving Day. As I'd spoken about in my Continental Divide sermon, we are going through a challenging time right now in our nation. We really are. Not only is there an ideological divide happening, and we're in the midst of a contentious change in government leadership, but we are in the throes of a global pandemic that most people are really not quite equipped to handle, you know, whether that be physically, emotionally, or even spiritually. Okay, so now that we have a little bit of a background as far as where we all are right now, let's get back to talking turkey, shall we? In other words, let's get down to the business of talking about how we can each be more thankful this Thanksgiving Day and on every other day of our lives moving forward. I truly feel that cultivating an attitude of gratitude is of the utmost importance for everyone, especially during the struggles that so many of us are facing daily right now. I know a lot of people who have lost their jobs and aren't really sure when their next paycheck is coming in. Or, what about the people who are either watching a loved one with an illness or a tragedy, or people who they themselves are going through something like that? What's that? Am I crazy? No. My mother had me tested. But I can kind of understand why, you'd be asking me that. How is anyone supposed to be cultivating an attitude of gratitude or finding a reason to be thankful during such a difficult time? I mean, come on, Mr. Pastor Man, wow me. Okay, I'll do my best. Ready? Here we go. It could be worse. I know, lame. How about, it's always darkest before it's pitch black. Oh wait, no, that's not how that goes. You know what, I must not be very good at this whole inspirational speaker thing. How about I just let the wonderfully articulate Melody Beattie speak for me for just a moment. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. I love that. I mean, that is how you inspire people. I love how she framed every word and every point that she was making in that paragraph. That, my friends, is how you talk turkey. You get right to the point of what you were trying to make, and then you say it directly and eloquently. And I really feel like she did. Think back to what she said for a moment. I think you'll see the wisdom of those words. Even if we just revisit the very first sentence of her quote, gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It really does. I mean, think about it. How often have you just stopped and spent a few moments reflecting on the things that you have rather than lamenting the things that you don't have? Bird in the hand. I think you'll find that it can be very beneficial to spend each moment, or a moment each day, not each moment, but that would be, preferable. At least a moment each day, spend it in quiet and grateful reflection. Okay, so I can hear a few of you out there all the way through my camera right now. How am I supposed to be reflecting gratefully when I don't have the money I want? Or when I don't have the relationship that I want? How about the loved one that I lost? How am I supposed to be grateful for those things? Okay. First, I'm going to reframe that picture you just painted by suggesting that if you are going to change your world, you must first change your mind. I've touched on this subject before, but I really do feel that the very first step in cultivating an attitude of gratitude is to recognize that each and every one of us do have things to be grateful for. Then, after changing your world by changing your mind, remember what Aristotle said. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. As spiritualists, we do recognize that we are responsible for ourselves and our actions, but also that, Spirit is there with us to guide us and assist us. So first, I suggest that being grateful for the gift of free will that we have all been given is a great start. We have been given the ability to decide which direction that we're going to take our lives in by the things that we choose to focus on. Think about that for a minute. Energy follows focus. Remember what I've said in past sermons about choice. By the same token, remember that even though we make our own happiness or unhappiness, every day is a new beginning. You can't necessarily start over from the outset, but you can make a new, fresh start wherever you are. The fact that we can always change our path to something a little more appropriate really is something that in itself we need to be grateful for. Or let me rephrase that. I can't say we need to be because we all have free will. That it would be good for us to be grateful for. It really will help you out. Okay, since we're talking turkey today, what do you say we also talk about a little lettuce? How about that all of us could use just a little more of that green stuff to pay the bills? Or, if you want to think of it this way, we could all use just a little more abracadabra in our magic plastic. The root of all evil isn't necessarily money, but becoming obsessed with money, it sure can make for a very unhappy camper. Let's talk for a moment about our financial resources and just how we can be grateful for what we have while striving to build on our individual nest eggs. Since we are talking about material things in this particular moment and just what our financial resources have brought us, we're going to start by looking around whatever room you are intently hanging on my every word from. If you aren't home, then just wait until you do this at home. But anyhow, take just a moment, pry your eyes away from my majestic appearance, and then look around the room. I want you to find 3 things that you are proud of that you have brought into your space. By that I mean, what 3 things do you see that your own hard work allowed you to either create yourself or purchase for yourself through your labors? Take a second to appreciate the fact that you are the reason that those items are here. For me, I have 2 salt lamps that sit in the room that I write my sermons in, and I'm responsible for bringing those in there. It was through my own efforts, my own work that I was able to bring them home, and I do appreciate them. By the same token, I also appreciate the sound bar that was the source of the blues music that I was listening to as I wrote this sermon. It was Albert Collins, for anybody who's keeping score at home. So I ask each of you, I put it to each of you, what 3 things are in your immediate vicinity that you are grateful to have brought into your space? Take a second, mull that over. Now, think of 3 people in your life that you are grateful to have known. They can be either living or dead. Oh, sorry. They prefer the term living impaired. Sorry, Glenn. Anyone who you can think of that you are grateful to have met, even if they are no longer part of your life. I do not want you to dwell on the fact that they are no longer part of your life, but rejoice in the fact that you were blessed to have them in your life at all. I know a lot of people they'll fondly think back to grandparents or even to spouses or friends who are like family, but for me, one of the people that I am most grateful for in my life is my best friend. She passed away from ovarian cancer in 2012. Now, not only do I appreciate knowing her because she's smart, she's funny, she's really interested in what I do, but she stuck around here on this earth plane long enough to introduce me to other people that I am also so grateful to have in my life. Bonus points if you can figure out who those 2 people are. Thanks, Jen. I know that you're aware of how much I appreciate you because you still touch base with me sometimes, and it's great to hear from you. Now, another wonderful tool for you to utilize, should you be so inclined, is to write a gratitude journal. I will be the first to recognize that for a lot of people, it requires a discipline that we just don't necessarily have. And I get that. I really do. Sometimes when we're down and we're just kind of feeling really, we're just trying to keep our heads above water, so to speak, much less try and write down what we're grateful for, it can be a little difficult. But if you can just, dig a little deeper in the well, you'll find that it can be very helpful. According to Psychology Today, people who write in gratitude journals for 15 minutes prior to retiring, they tend to sleep better and longer. Now, I'm not really a big writer. I've never been very good with that. But I do find that for me personally, typing, or even on my phone, is a much better alternative. So, you can do that, whatever works for you. I also know a few people who have a fancy app on their phones where they can dictate their journal entries and the phone will transcribe it for them. You gotta love technology. I mean, it's great when it works. So, how many of you out there are grateful for your health, no matter what condition your physical body is in? Personally, I am very grateful for my health. Oh yeah, did I mention that, I have catcher's knees, I have Crohn's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, and severe diabetes? Oh, yeah, and oh God, don't get me started on my allergies. So, how can I be grateful for my health with all that going on? It could be worse. Seriously though, I really do feel grateful that even with all the malfunctions that my robot or physical body has had, it still gets me where I need to go. And it is mine. It is my home while I am here. And I am grateful for each step that I take, each breath that I breathe, each blink of my eyes, because it means that I am still here on earth, still doing what I can to heal the world, to make it a better place for you and for me, and for the entire human race. Gratitude keeps me going. It really does. As I just spoke about, in addition to the emotional and spiritual benefits that making everyday Thanksgiving Day bring, there are also physical benefits to it as well. And, I think we could all use a physical boost now and then, couldn't we? Research shows that grateful people tend to be healthy and happy. They exhibit lower levels of stress and depression. They cope better with adversity, and they sleep better. They tend to be happier and more satisfied with life. Even their partners tend to be more content with their relationships. Perhaps when we are more focused on the good things that we enjoy in life, we tend to live more for life, and tend to take better care of ourselves and each other. When researchers asked people to reflect on the past week and write about things that either irritated them or about which they felt grateful, those tasked with recalling good things were far more optimistic. They felt better about their lives and actually visited their physicians more often. So it's really no surprise, is it, that receiving thanks makes people happier, but so does expressing gratitude. An experiment that asked participants to write and deliver thank you notes, they actually found large increases in reported levels of happiness, a benefit that actually lasted for an entire month. You sensing a trend here? It's really not bad, huh? So, okay. Since we are still talking turkey, and you know what, honestly, I do still have to go by mine, I'll get right to it. Cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Live that life of gratitude. Remember those words of Aristotle. Spend your time focusing on those things that you are grateful for, and every day can be a Thanksgiving day. Go forth and remember that each of us is responsible for having an attitude of gratitude and living that gratitude. Let's make every day a Thanksgiving day. It is my wish for each and every one of you that are watching this that you have a wonderfully gratitude-filled week ahead and a wonderfully happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe, everybody. Thank you.